Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on AI for beginners. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Sybil and I'm joined by my colleague Rodo, who will be doing the main part of this presentation. So this webinar is run by C&T Associates in partnership with the London Borough of Bexley as part of the Talking Business Business Support Programme, which is fully funded by the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. So this presentation is an introduction to AI or artificial intelligence. So no prior experience of AI is expected. We'll be talking about the very basics of it and discussing a few tools that you can use to streamline your business and perform business tasks more efficiently. So I think we will begin. So if Rhoda, you could please go to the next slide. So Gary Parker is the Managing Director of C&T Associates. He is not able to be here with us today, so I'll be hosting this presentation instead. Gary has 20 plus years of experience in business support and fundraising. So C&T at C&T we provide business support and fundraising services for your business or organization. And for more information on that, you can visit our website at cntassociates.com. If you can go to the next slide, please. And my colleague Rodo will now introduce himself.
Yeah, hello everyone, and thanks for attending the webinar. I'm Rodo Orellana. I'm Head of Innovation and Design at Rocketvan. We are a studio design and development that we helping businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, to create their own apps and platforms. So we using AI to streamline and automate some processes. And yeah, I'm looking forward today to show you a bit how to apply AI on your businesses.
Thank you, Rhoda. And myself, Sybil Mayard, I am the Digital Services Consultant at C&T. So my main background is in web design. I design and develop websites for small businesses. And I also provide related digital services, including CRM systems, email marketing, automation, analytics, and other services, helping businesses to make the most of technology. And I've worked with businesses from a range of different industry sectors, from creatives, e-commerce, consultancies, tech businesses, well-being, and many others. And if you can go to the next slide, please. So today's workshop will be covering the following. We'll do an introduction to AI, everyday and potential uses of AI, agentic AI, Gen AI, which is generative AI landscape, Gen AI for small businesses. We'll have some demos for you, tips for starting to use Gen AI, some advice about AI awareness and things you need to consider when using AI tools. Then we will end with a Q&A session. And we'll also give you our contact information at the end. Next slide, please, Rhoda. So let's begin with an introduction to AI or artificial intelligence. So we have a definition here. AI is the ability of a machine to display human-like capabilities such as reasoning, learning, planning, and creativity. Future applications are expected to bring about enormous changes, but AI is already present in our everyday lives. If you can go to the next slide, please. So here are a few examples of everyday and potential uses of AI. So AI is almost everywhere nowadays. It's integrated into almost every aspect of our daily lives. And we can find it in online shopping and advertising, web search. So whereas in the past, you used to type in a query into Google, for example, and it will give you a list of search results and a list of websites which you could click onto. Now, Google has AI mode where it will generate the answer you're looking for based on the query that you typed in, rather than a traditional way of giving you a list of websites. So the answer is right there and it's generated automatically based on what you've put into it. We have AI chatbots, which are slowly replacing human customer service representatives on many websites, digital personal assistants, machine translations, smart homes, cities, and infrastructure, cars, especially autonomous cars, cybersecurity, and fighting disinformation, for example, fake news. If you can go to the next slide, please.
Yeah.
So I'm now going to hand over to Rodo, who will do the main parts of this presentation. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sybil, and thanks for this amazing introduction. As Sybil was saying, artificial intelligence is everything that computers they do that usually is requires human intelligence. And we've seen a lot of examples of everyday uses, but I wanted to do very briefly, we're not going to go into detail, but a bit the differentiation of what is AI. AI as a artificial intelligence means it has a lot of layers, and we're going to just go through so you will have a bit of understanding. I'm sure you those words and definitions are, and everywhere in the media, social media, the people they're talking about, but I don't want to go deep into the technicality, but just understanding a bit the terms. So artificial intelligence englobes everything, particularly also for generative AI. That's the one we're going to focus today. Uh, Below artificial intelligence, we have machine learning. That's the way we training and we making computers to learn. We're doing that using data. And how computers learn, they learn through patterns. So this is the first layer and englobes other techniques and technologies. So below that, we had neural networks and deep learning. This is another way to teach or make learn the computers. So in neural networks, they try to mimic our brains. So how our brain works, how the parts of the brain is connected to understand things. And one of the examples is image recognition. So now you have several programs that they can identify. You show them a dog, it will say this is a dog, this is not a cat. That's a one way. And deep learning is similar to neural networks, is another technology to teach computers, but it's more for other applications like autonomous driving. They need to learn on the spot as well. No, they been trained before, but they have new elements coming in. And then we have generative AI. That's the creative part of AI, because one thing is teaching computers and making them to make decisions, but generative AI is creating new content from the data that we have been feeding them. And generative AI is based on large language models, like LLM. I'm sure you have been listening to this because ChatGPT, Claude, Llama, Gemini, all those are based on large language models. Large language models is the way how AI understands words. So that's why we can interact with AI just using natural language. Okay. Summarizing to make clear the difference is AI is like a smart system that helps you make decisions, automate tasks in general. And generative AI is like a creative partner that helps you to write, design, stop ideas. Generative AI is being used in different levels. I'm just going to go through the examples that we have today, because this year has been the agents year in terms of AI, because it has been heavily deployed. And I will tell you a bit more about the difference. So if you're using generative AI, like a chatbot like ChatGPT or Gemini, we usually have an idea, and then we trying to get an output from the GenAI model, and then this GenAI, it will give us an output, and this is all. So it always needs an output. Sorry, an idea or an ask from us, and then we have an output. AI agents, they use AI, generative AI, but they are driven by a goal. So it's like having ChatGPT, but with a goal. And then you give a ChatGPT a set of tools to get you an output. For instance, it's like scrap this website and give me, this information, and put an article so I can understand. This would be maybe an agent goal. And then agentic AI is a bit more complex. It's different agents, let's say, delivering also a result, but is instead to have a goal, a very precise goal, you have an objective. It's like, okay, let's create a block system that is fully automated. So you need proofreaders, agents, you have someone who's going to be the script writer and everything, and these will be interacting each other until they have, the blog posts and everything done. Don't worry about much. Today we're going to just focus on GenAI and what tools are available. There are tons, and this is even, just a glimpse. And some of those logos, and you'll see that some of them, they are new. Some, even the Gemini, they have already released the 3.0. So everything is moving so fast in this sector. But in a nutshell, with using generative AI, you can use it for different parts of your business. The most common one is asking questions or requiring information. You can do browsing using Perplexity, or now as well, Sybil said earlier, using Google Chrome or Google Search. You can design using Canva or Adobe Firefly. You can even clone yourself and send videos and just type in the text you want to do. This is possible with HeyGen. We're not going to go through that, but there's a lot of possibilities. You can create videos. You've seen crazy stuff. So you need to be very careful on what they're sending and what is true or not. You can fully automate lots of parts of your business using automation. It's a lot of things to do. But I want to just focus today in what it matters for a small business. The key areas are here. And on the right-hand side, you'll see some of the tools that we're going to go through or they can use. Most of them, they have a free tier that you can start using. And I just encourage you to start with. But marketing is something that you as any small business, you need to do. So dramatically, GenAI can help. For instance, for personalizing campaigns, helping you to do the social media posts, and also, for instance, Canva can create leaflets in seconds or minutes. We'll go through that. You'll see. About the customer service is something that is already happening. You see all the chatbots and everything, that there are some tools that you can plug and play in your website. It reads your website. If you have FIQ, if you have all the content and extra PDFs explaining what you do, all the services you can put there, and people, they kind of start having a conversation with the chatbot to understand a bit more instead to read. In terms of the operations, is everything that is invoicing, scheduling your events or calls, managing inventory, everything can help on that. And sales is something that it can dramatically help you to improve your sales strategy. You can ask to get a sales strategy to get a particular persona and create all these messages to approach them, or creating content that it will attire those kind of prospects. So how we interact, I'm sure you've been hearing this concept is prompt engineering. A prompt is the way you interact with an LLM. As we saw earlier, it's a natural language model using the LLM. So it means that we can interact using our language in different languages and different, but it has to have a structure in order to get the best results. You can't just auto-deploy, ask them to create a strategy for your business, but if you don't give them to those LLM and the information they need and a structure, they will give you very general answers. And what you want is very adapting to your business or your goals in that moment. So the very basic structure is this one. So you need to set up a role. So you need to tell the LLM, okay, act as a copywriter for a local SME or for my business. And this is your task. For instance, create the text for a promotional leaflet. We're gonna do this later. And then key details. Okay, you want to, okay, I'm a copywriter. You want a leaflet or the copy, but for what? So then it's like, for instance, if it's for an event, so you need to know the event name, date and time, what is offered, what is going to happen in this event, what participants need to bring, who is invited, so on and so forth. And then the tone, as we know that you have your own branding, your own way of representing your company, or your company represents on itself. So you need to also set it up. In that case, if we're doing, if it's warm, if it's approachable, very professional, very scientific, it depends what is your tone. That is important. So you optimize the output. And then if you have any constraint, for instance, keep it short, or no, make it, very worldly, or any other constraints that you see. Okay, don't mention, I don't know, anything about AI or whatever it is. You need to also to give them a bit of limits, and it will naturally give you, the best output. Then you can interact. Okay, change this, change that. But the very first, if you follow this structure, it will give you the best output. Okay, so it's demo time. It's just gonna stop sharing this. We're gonna go through some examples that it will help us to understand a bit more and see the possibilities. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go through all of them. Can you see my screen? Yes. Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're gonna go through different tools that I'm using every day, and hopefully it will be helpful for you as well. So one of the things I'm using every day is notes taker for my meetings. So I have meetings with my clients, with my teams, with providers, and it's tons and tons of details. And then if you need to write a proposal, you need to recall any detail, is very hard unless you are very good doing the minutes and everything. So there are tons of tools like there that it helps you, because it reads. It means it transcribes your voice, and get some takeaways. So this is one of the meetings I had with my clients. Everything should be confidential, but it's very simple. We were just reviewing the website, and on that part, it was shown all the key takeaways and next steps. So it's very powerful because we know what we need to do. So we had to change some agency accounts, regular accounts, what we should change for this, clarifying some MailChimp integrations or third-party integrations and everything. And then next steps. Everything has been done by AI. So we can, both of parties, you can send this to your client, you can review and watch the video again. But most importantly is like everything is in there and you can copy, do your work on that and create, new follow-ups or get your tasks done. Okay, that's one of the tools that I'm using is also included on the presentation. We'll give you, the links after that. Okay, let's create. Let's do a business case that one of my clients is always asking, is creating a leaflet, physical leaflet, and then a post on social media. And before that, you need to know what you need to do. And here, as we said earlier, we followed the prompt structure. So I have my role here, act as a copywriter for a local community center. Then is the task, what I need to do. So I need a leaflet of this. What are the details? Details are here. And what is the tone? Warm, inclusive tone and everything. And then my constraints, keep the content short. So I'm gonna just copy this. You can use any of the LLMs. I'm gonna use Google for that one. I hope it's Google Studio. No, that's not background. Okay, I'm just gonna paste this this prompt and automatically generated my text. Okay, so we're gonna keep it this. And the next step is we're gonna design it. Okay. So again, we got the content. So we done this content. We generated by the LLM. Again, you can use Gemini, you can use ChatGPT, you can use anything. But in this case, I'm going to use Canva. Canva is another designer tool. Again, it will be on the list of the tools on the presentation at the end of the presentation. If not, just feel free to ask me, and I will share with you. And what we're going to do is creating a new prompt from the information. I already have this, so we don't have to write it again or copy and paste. So again, we have the role. I need a graphic designer role. What is, again, is the same. It's community center, Christmas party, and then what it needs to include. So what is the information that it needs to include, and also inside, all the information and how I want, and the tone, everything, and then constraints. It's the same. So I'm gonna just copy this prompt. I'm gonna to Canva. Canva has a tool they call Canva AI, and just paste in here, and it will get this prompt, and it will be start thinking. Hopefully, it won't take that long, and it's gonna create some ideas for our leaflet. Okay, it's doing it. Okay, so we have something to start with. Let's pick this one, for instance, And we said, oh, that's nice. Okay, cool. You can use Canva editor to change things, so, or change colors. So I'm just gonna pick it up this one very quick, very easy, because what I want is like just go through. You could change your text, but already you have something to work with. And it took us what, not even a minute. So what I want to do is just download it for now, because let's say that we edited everything, we like everything, so a client approved or ourselves, we approved, and we're just gonna download it. Because the second part of this is, okay, you can print it, everything, but then you need to use social media to promote your event, correct? So that's where we're going, and we're gonna start a new prompt that I need to have this leaflet distributed on social media, because that's where my potential attendees they're gonna be. So again, your role is actually act as a social media manager. What is your task? Take this leaflet. I'm gonna send to the LLM the leaflet, the physical leaflet. So imagine that just someone hands to you this leaflet and you need to create a post. So that will take you, you need to transcribe it and everything and create the post. So it will take also seconds. This is the task they need to do. So obviously I need a Facebook, an Instagram. Let's say I have this one and a blog post. So for the website, again, the tone, and also this is not correct. Also the constraints. So keep the output ready to publish and add some, the most reachable hashtags. So we're gonna copy this, come back to the LLM. Again, it can be any of them. Okay. I'm gonna paste my post, but in this time, I'm just gonna upload my leaflet. I got that. The one we used. So rapidly is going to be here. So imagine that you don't have the text, even if you had it before, you don't have the text. You're just putting in there your leaflet or your catalog, whatever it is. And then that's it. It's taking literally seconds. Then you can change it. You can you can edit it on using your text editor, but you have the blog post, so it goes there, and then differentiating, because we know that each platform, they have their own way to communicate, and also restrictions about links and everything. So here we have the Facebook and Instagram. You'll notice that Instagram is short, very snappy, and that's it. So that's one of thousands of examples that I could give you, but I think this is very illustrating. So it's an example that illustrates what we can do with AI. And now, okay, we're gonna use one thing is called Notebook, Notebook LM. So it's a tool made by Google that is more for research and using. So instead to use the LLM information that has been trained and also connected to internet, you're creating your own base of knowledge. And then you can ask and require. One example that I found very useful is for instructions and everything. I will give you just an example, but you can play around with anything. Imagine that you need to do a research for your client and has lots of documentation. You put that in here, and then you can request. And beyond that, I'll show you in a second. So my case is very simple. I have documentations for my camper van. I have a camper van, it's an old Peugeot. I put it, I've managed to get from internet the documentations, the manual in French. So I put it here. Everything is in there. So I want to understand more in terms of if I need to do any exchange something or look for parts or anything. And then I have a video of people they are on YouTube that are showing how the engine works, everything, and then all the things that I found in internet, and I put it here. Very simple question will be this one. I need to know which kind of oil I need to put in. Okay, I don't want to go through the manual and find out. I just asking straight away to the LLM because I already read it everything. Which kind of what type of oil is recommended for my type of engine, and it will go through all the documentation and boom, it will tell me which one and where I can find it. So in page X on the manual. Also here is referencing different pages for the thing. So this is one of the usage. So you can do deep research on your documentation, pulling from YouTube channel, from your own documents. Is connected, if you're using Gmail, it's connected to your Google Drive. So if you're putting in one of the folders, everything there, it will read everything, and then you can question. And one of the crazy features is that it creates a podcast. Okay, for this one is very, very crazy. It's like it creates a podcast that is two people like talking about the content very briefly, but you have a very high level knowledge of what is going on. And I don't know if you can.
All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today
Can you
we're
hear
getting
it?
our hands dirty with a couple of true
Okay.
classics. Those French twins you still see everywhere, the Citroen C25 and the Peugeot J5.
Yeah, these vans were absolute workhorses, the backbone of so much in Europe. And what we're really trying to do today is blend two different worlds of information.
Right, we've got the official, super detailed specs from the original French review technique.
Exactly, the engineer's view. But we're marrying that with decades of, hard-won practical knowledge.
Well, I'm not going to go through, but you can see that automatically I created a podcast about my content. So if I don't want to dive into that, I can just hear that and see, okay, that's what is going on. And in very natural, as you see, it's generated AI, and it looks like literally two people are talking about what I'm interested in. So that's one of the examples that I wanted to give you. We have tons of it. Just gonna share back my screen. And let's see, what is it? Setting. Can you see my screen? What is it? Just lost it. Sorry. Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So that was one of the examples that I wanted to give you. And there are more. There are more. You can automate even, the posting on your WordPress that I didn't want to go through because it's a bit more complex there, and it will take another. So if you are interested on that, just ping me, or we'll plan to do another one more advanced. But there are lots of automation tools out there that it can help leveraging Gen AI with the tools and objectives, and things are happening without, and then you just need the human validation and tweaking. Obviously, it's not a magic one, but there are lots of repetitive tasks that it can help. So my advice is how to get starting with the Gen AI is first, I didn't mention here, but it's a start. We have no choice. This is the new internet. There is the new electricity, and everyone is using electricity and internet today. So AI, and particularly Gen AI, is part of our lives, and it's not going to go anywhere. So start small. Think about how can, if I had an assistant here on the side, how I want this assistant to help me. start, experiment with the free tools. There are most of them, they have a free tier, and you can start using them. And you will see that those free tools, they give you a very good output. And stay informed. This, even myself, that I'm pretty much on the trenches. I'm following different other guys. They are very on the high end and high tech, and I'm amazed every day. And sometimes someone comes like, "Did you know this?" Like, no, it's impossible to catch up with everything, but at least on your level, knowing which tools and attending those webinars like this one today is very important. And also be ethical. We know that AI can do a lot of things, but we need to be respectful and knowing that it's here to help, but also we need to use it with responsibility. This is my Gen AI challenge this week. Pick one of the AI tool, anything that you think, ChatGPT, using Google Gemini, Claude, anything, and give it a try. Could be, that's it. So just as we sit today, what you see today, just as soon as this is outside on YouTube, take it, rewind it, and try to do it yourself. And yeah, so take this step, because you will be surprised how much time. We done a very simple, maybe, my background is in design, maybe it wasn't perfect, but for a community center, for instance, if they don't have any designer and they cannot afford it, it's good enough. They can just get something in and cracking on. So that's more or less my challenge for today. And I think, Sybil, I pass it to you.
Thank you so much, Rodo. Amazing presentation. Just want to say it just shows how powerful these AI tools are becoming. They're becoming more powerful every day. Especially with the podcast generation, it was just so realistic. I wouldn't be able to tell apart a real podcast than an AI generated one. And also you can see the cost savings and the time savings. I mean, tasks that would usually have taken you hours, you can now do in minutes or even seconds. So I'm sure you can see the huge benefits of using these AI tools. So, amazing as they are, AI tools do have flaws, and there are some concerns that you need to consider when using them. So I'm just going to go briefly through some points here about what you need to be aware when using AI. So there's accuracy and misinformation. So these tools do make mistakes. You do need to cross-reference the information with other sources and always verify the accuracy of important details. So never take it for granted that the information is 100% correct. There could be some mistakes, so you do need to verify it with other sources that you know are correct. Bias and ethical consideration. AI tools are trained on human-created data, which can include biases. For example, a few years ago, there was an recruitment tool that was used by Amazon, and the project had to be abandoned because unfortunately the tool was biased against women. It tended to favor men instead. So be aware that there could be some gender biases and other types of biases which are inherently part of these tools because of the type of data that they are trained on. Privacy and security risks. So remember that any information that you enter into an AI tool can be used for training its model. So you must never enter any personal or sensitive data into these tools. or confidential company information, for example, financial information about your business. And also, it's a good idea to read the privacy notice of the tool to check where the data is stored. Some of these tools may store your information in data centers which are outside of the UK. It should be covered by GDPR laws, but we don't always know if other countries are actually adhering to these laws. So just be aware of that. Plagiarism and copyright issues. So AI tools are trained on information that comes from the internet, and they can reproduce large amounts of text or images that it finds when it's generating new content. So even though it's generating a new blog post or a new image, that blog post or image might contain large amounts of text, which it hasn't really changed enough to be deemed as an original piece of content. It may be copying large pieces of existing content. So one thing you can do is to use plagiarism checkers to verify the originality of the content. For example, there's Copyscape. So you can put your text into this tool and it will tell you how much of that text has been copied from elsewhere. And for images, it's more complex, but there are some tools out there like Google Images and others which can tell you whether an image has been plagiarized. And finally, we've got data and training limitations. So AI tools may only have access to a certain amount of information until a certain cutoff point, unless it's got access to the web, where the web tends to update more often. But if it doesn't have that access, then it may give you some out-of-date information. So for example, ChatGPT's knowledge is based on data up to June 2024. And that may have changed since I've written this slide, but you do need to be aware that there are some limitations on the on how up to date the data is. And then the main takeaway from all of this really is that these tools are great, they're amazing, wonderful tools, but I still feel that AI cannot completely replace human interaction and creativity. So yes, we can produce a poster, a leaflet in a few minutes, but I still feel that you still need some human input. So you're writing a blog, for example, I wouldn't just take the whole blog and put onto your website. I would still tweak it, adjust it, make sure it matches your tone of voice, put some human input into it so it's not entirely AI generated. And that's the best way to use these tools. So a hybrid approach of both some AI generated content plus human creativity as well. So if you can go to the next slide, please, Rodo.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that concludes the main part of our presentation today. So we're now taking any questions. So if you have any questions, please do put it into the chat, or you can speak out loud, or you can raise your hand on the screen. And we will be happy to answer your questions. So I see
There
there
is
was an earlier
yes.
question. Oh, apologies, sorry, go ahead.
No. There is one question from Abiudin, I think, on the chat.
So we had an earlier question from Robin. Is there a structure that can be followed? And I think this referred to the prompts.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. Yes.
Rhoda, if you've already answered that or whether you need to.
Yeah, no, you've seen it. So this is the basic one. They are more advanced, and they are, the great thing in these using those tools, they are the first time a software you can ask questions to the software. So if you have a something in mind, you want to produce, I don't know, a letter or something, you can ask, okay, I want to do this letter, write me the perfect prompt for that. So, and you give, the few details, and it will structure the prompt this way, and then you prompt this one to the same tool. So you will maximize your output. But yeah, it's always role, the task, telling what you need to do, the details, okay, and the tone, and the output as well. If I want, obviously, the details, and if I want a list or I want a paragraph or anything, and the tone, and then the constraint. So don't do that, don't do that, or I want in this way, or don't even mention anything, or just keep it on this topic, and just go, because it's a generative, and it always, it will just be very wordy sometimes. And use, for instance, one of the constraints is like, don't use emoticons, because you can spot it straight away. He loves to do that. It's a big like, obsessive of using, the ones.
Okay. So you have to maintain some sort of structure, because obviously it will just deviate, and then either do some hallucination in the background to fill in
Well,
the
to
gaps.
maximize your output, you can't just go straight away. We're using a lot for coding, for instance, and we just throw in the questions like, what is this on that, and or this function, and that's it. But it's getting better on this way. But if you because it's not, sometimes it's generative. It's generative. It means that, it will generate the answer. And again, it's not something like someone is using intelligence in a sense. Correct? Is doing is a kind of a complex and very simple. I'm gonna say simple. Is probability. They're doing statistics. That's it. So it's what is the meaning, and then matching with their own database, and then giving you a constructed answer. The only thing is, generating, and it looks very intelligent, but in a sense it's not. So because it's meant to do probability can be, it can generate things that they are nothing about it. They are getting better, obviously, and you can correct and say, no, this is not right. That's why without the knowledge behind it, you are just on their hands. So that's why there is always a big disclaimer, and Sybil was strengthening this, like, just verify, double verify. So for medical purposes, for legal purposes, for something like that, or even, taxes and everything, just make sure that someone is checking this if you don't have the knowledge. That's very important. If you know what you're doing, like, I just generating a leaflet, or or the content and everything, there's no harm, but it could be better. I straight away seeing, because my background is in design, so this is very basic. But listen, for someone that has no background, it will say, okay, I use it straight away. It's better than nothing. That's all. Just a black and white Word document for the flyer. But when it comes to something very complex, like, the videos or something like that you've seen in there, is behind it someone very knowledgeable. The only thing is, like, we're accelerating the process using this tool.
Yeah.
But hopefully it makes sense.
Yeah. Because I was in the meeting with Gary yesterday, and just by pure coincidence, I was talking to another colleague, and he informed me of that Notepad LM through Google Labs. Literally, it was just yesterday. So I went on there. So as you mentioned, started playing with the software. So I took a blog that I wrote, uploaded it into the lab Google, and it created a video. It's absolutely amazing. And then he went on to do a podcast. And the only thing that stopped me was the RSS feed, because you've got to create an RSS feed, so it goes out to various different platforms. But the quality of the video and how it contextualized the actual article that I wrote, and like you said in your example, it was more of a discussion between two individuals on the actual video as well. Gave it some sense of reality. But everything that I wrote, it discussed and dissected, and I was absolutely amazed with it. So yeah, I'm converted already. you got into Google
Well, we
Lab.
had no choice, but it's true that it's not coming to replace this, but they are very good on summarizing and
Yeah.
getting, that's why using them on calls, for instance, is very good. So I'm part of different associations, and one of them is that's why of the community center in North London, and they used to have someone, a secretary, doing the minutes, and I said, this we cannot do. You can't just have someone just taking notes when the trustees are here to speak, and also with the members. So we're using AI because it summarizes and all the details are there. If we discuss, a pipe broken, or, we need to do this for the next Christmas thing or whatever, everything is in there. We can distribute very quick and we save time. So I think it's this purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, and for me, it's a game changer because my background in project management, and usually the case when I go into in the past when I'm in a meeting, I'm the one taking the minutes, and then having to scribble it down on a piece of paper. I'd leave the meeting and then I'll spend 2.5 hours writing up my minutes for then nobody to read, which is always the case. I've been doing this job for over
Yeah,
three
that's why.
decades.
Is obviously in any organization is important to have them because
Mm,
for any reason was an issue or something, you can recall it.
that's right. Yeah, the
But
action.
having them transcribe it instantly and having the document somewhere, it's you can always match if you have the MP3 somewhere. That's what we're doing today. Someone is using the phones
Hmm.
and the phone, or we have multiple recordings, and then we just upload it to. You can use a notebook LM and transcribe it, and then put in questions like do what we said in here and everything. So if anyone just missed, just go there and ask the questions. So yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely, like I said, it's a game changer for me.
Yes.
Um,
Cool. Yeah. I think we have one. It's like those AI have its own mind. From the teaching today, it looks like it's human that operate AI. Unfortunately, it's not. There's a lot of discussions there uh, on the scientists and everything, but it doesn't. It doesn't have at the moment. Generative AI. I'm talking. It doesn't have their own mind. The proof is it depends on the data has been trained. Yeah, and is it there going to be follow-up teaching or advanced teaching? I don't quite get this one. Are we doing? Can you just clarify this, the last one? Don't know if you want to mute yourself or
Yeah. Good afternoon or good morning.
yeah.
I'm only asking if there's gonna be another teaching or advance. I think this just for the beginners. So
Yeah, another webinar.
yeah, webinar, yeah.
Yeah, we'll discuss this with CNT. I'm happy to do one. Obviously, today was covering few places, but there's a lot more, particularly with the agents. There are lots of tools out there. You can streamline lots of processes, but because this was for beginners, so that's why we done that. But I'm happy to do another one in the future.
Yeah, so
Oh, about my sorry, about my first question. I don't want to be funny, but in this film with Will Smith, the iRobot, it looks as if the robots, they have their own mind. They change everything that was input into them. I don't know if it's because it's a film. So if you can clarify that.
No, it's it is not. No one is in there. They have been trained for different data, and from this data is generating. You can frame it as well, obviously, because it will always try to generate and correct if you say that is not correct or something like that. But yeah, we can call it at online, I believe, today. Well, I think we over time. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for your inputs.
Thank
I think
you.
it's very. We
Cheers.
could be here until
Could be
afternoon.
for days. Yeah, no.
But I think yeah. I leave it to you, Sybil.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rhodo, for your very insightful presentation. The CNT contact information is on the screen if you'd like to reach out to us with any questions. And also thank you for attending today and for your contribution. Very interesting discussions happening. So I'd just like to wrap up the presentation today, and we hope to see you on the next webinar. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. It was
Yeah,
brilliant. Thank you very much.